how are you? Welcome to my podcast. Welcome back to Walking with Wanzu. I hope you're doing well. I hope you loved the intro. And so now, as we get right into it, on sharing my life experiences and what has been, I hope you will like this journey and welcome to this community of authentic sharing and being able to know that this is a space where it's safe and where we can share and we're not judged and we learn from each other's experience. So coming to you today, I have had quite an eventful week last week. My daughter was incredibly unwell, but she's doing much better now. She's even back in school. I was unwell too, so I was literally taking care of someone who's not feeling well, and I also was not well and 100% myself, but I'm feeling so much better. My cold is gone. The sun is popping up every now and then, and so the weather has a balance to it. And so life, I'm grateful for the blessings that there are, even as small as the weather and just waking up in the morning and know where hearts and I'm good to go and ready to start my day. As I think of the last week that was, and even when I was going through my illness phase, something that was very crucial came up, and that was my wellness, my own personal wellness. Now I've just come out of a working space that was extremely toxic, but I've also come out of a personal space where I wasn't in the best space. I was feeling, in fact, I won't even sugarcoat it. Let me just get to it. I was extremely bitter. I was really, really bitter. I felt like my life wasn't taking a trajectory that I wanted. Things weren't going as planned. And so as a result, I was just feeling like I was feeling stuck and I was feeling extremely unhappy. And I'm those people who, when things are not going how I want to or how I envisioned, I get really frustrated and I lash out. So I wasn't 100% in my parenting. I would snap. I would make mountains out of molehills. So my daughter would do the smallest thing and it would be the biggest deal to me. And I don't know about you, but for the ladies in the house, you know that when it's almost that time of the month, then your emotions are even more heightened. And so you feel things a bit more strongly, whether it's the good or the bad emotions. And I was just in a space where my feelings were all over the place. And so my cousin, who also happens to be my business partner, noticed it at work, that I got frustrated very easily. I would lash out a lot. And she always dealt with me from a point of grace and love, and always found it in herself to be like, okay, there's a disagreement here, or things are not going well here. How do we reconcile it? How do we make it work? And as a result of that, I was able, because she always tried to treat me as the best version of me that she could imagine or want for me, then I started to mimic that and I started to tap into that energy. And also I noticed that bitter space that I was in was not only now affecting me on the inside, but it was also affecting me on the outside. So I was really unwell. I had diarrhea that came out of nowhere. I was getting migraines in and out, and I was really physically unwell. And when I looked back at my habits and what it was that I was doing, then I realized that it really didn't have anything to do with what I ate or what I consumed or any activity that would make me unwell. It's really just what I was feeling on the inside, which is a lot of hurt and a lot of bitterness and a lot of confusion that was now manifesting as an illness. And so I just made a very conscious decision. And if you're listening to me, I want to believe that you believe in a higher power, whether you call him Buddha, whether it's the universe, whether you call him Jesus like me. Then I just took a prayer and I told God, we need to get rid of this bitterness. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I am clueless, I am stuck, but all I know is that things need to change. Things need to change in terms of my health and my well-being, but things also need to change in terms of the mind space that I'm in. If you're in Kenya, then you know that getting childcare and getting just a nanny to be able to come in and sit with your child is very difficult. Nannies normally come with the most, they just come with a lot. So some will be amazing for the first month. They'll take care of your baby well. They'll do what it is that you need them to do. And then they change and they just don't do their job well. They tend to slack in what it is that they're supposed to do, but some come and really get the job done and they do it well. And so I had just recently brought back a nanny who was working for me a while back, and I had managed to tell her, you can come back and you can work, and she just wasn't about the job. So she was on her phone all the time. She wasn't taking instructions as I was giving her, and she just wasn't doing what it was that was required to do. And I was getting really, really frustrated. And because of the bitter space that I was in, I found myself lashing out a lot. So even if she made a mistake where I would correct with love, I just used to correct it with a lot of frustration and anger. And so fast forward, I managed to get another nanny, and she came over, and she's really good and she's really kind and she's very helpful with the baby. So that has been amazing. But I also got to think of something that is on my mind a lot nowadays, and that's my internal energy. Because energy, whatever energy it is, attracts that particular energy in return. And so I try and make a conscious effort, even when things are hard, because during these COVID seasons, things are just all over the place. And I'm aware that there are some people who have found their niche and have gotten into their businesses, and they're doing really well for themselves. But I personally, and the industry that I'm in, and just being out of a job and trying to figure out what it is exactly that I want to do and pursue it, and coming up with ideas of actualizing the plans that I have, then there are times when I find that my finances are not in the best place, and so that makes me extremely moody. I've actually lost my train of thought. So where was I? I was talking about attracting energies. And so I try to consciously, and though sometimes I fail miserably and lash out or find myself in a space where what I've done I'm not really proud of, but I try as much as possible to be in a thankful, in a good and a joyful space, a space that is nice and calm and that is warm, so that is what I can attract in return. And so one thing that I have been very fortunate to have over the years is God always finds a way of sending people my way that love me genuinely and just want to be with me and walk my journey and are there for me. And so in 2020 and even in 2021, He sent people my way who have held me in prayer, who have come through for me in different capacities, and I am incredibly grateful. And so that is what the week has been. Something that has really been on my mind this week as well is a friendship that I chose to walk away from. And that was really difficult because this was a person who I used to share with a lot of things. I used to talk to almost every other day. And my daughter was also really close to. And so now I could be scrolling through Instagram and I see something and I want to forward it to them. And I remember, we're not in talking terms like that anymore, or we're not as tight as we used to be. And so now we only speak when there's something really important or something that is necessary to have an exchange about, or a message that is extremely vital to be able to be passed. And so that adjusting to losing that friendship honestly has been really, really hard for me, and I miss them incredibly. But a boundary needed to be set up and things needed to be done. And so it is what it is. So I'm just learning to be able to navigate the terrain that is me going through life without that friendship and just seeing what comes of it. So as I leave you now, I just want to tell you that I know life may be beating you about and things are not working as you have planned or as you would like, but I hope you find it in you to always find something to be grateful. And it could be for the smallest things. If you cook your favorite meal and that was the highlight of your day, please celebrate it. If just one thing that you had planned in your agenda goes right, then please celebrate it. Because as we navigate through a whole pandemic and try to deal with all the day-to-day hustle and bustle of life, we need something good to hold on to. We need something to replenish good energy in our hearts, in our minds, and in our souls. And I hope you find that one thing that does it for you every single day, that replenishes your energy, that gives you something to hold on to, and that gives you something to be grateful for. Have a lovely week. I hope that you resonated with my experience, and moving forward, I know that I'm a constant work in progress, and so I'm happy to say that the bitterness is fading. It's being replaced by a lot of love, a lot of thankfulness, a lot of understanding, and I'm learning to move around and accord people the grace that I would very much so love to be accorded. And even on the times where I slip up and I lash out, then I give myself just the same amount of grace that I would love to be able to extend to others. It's a constant journey, it's a constant work in progress, but there is progress, and I'm very conscious that a single step in the right direction is always progress. Have a lovely week. I'm sending you lots of love and hugs, and I will talk to you on the next one. Thank you for listening to Walk with Wanzu. Feel free to follow Wellness with Wanzu on Instagram. Find me on Instagram at Yvette Wanzu, and let's talk. Please share, and let's keep the conversation going. God bless you, and I will talk to you on the next one. Bye bye.